What's going on, y'all? Ground Motivate back in this thing again, man, with another video. We're revisiting your boy Spencer Cornelia because he's got Dr. Umar in the crosshairs. And everybody already kind of knows Dr. Umar has been on some BS this whole time. He's been scamming. He's been on some just doing whatever he want to do with the money that he's been getting. And this title of this video right here is 10-year scam to build a fake school. So we're going to see if Spencer has any facts or if he has anything that's like, oh, yeah, that is a little funny, man. That is a little funny, man. But let's get it.
Umar Johnson may have pulled off the smartest scam I've ever seen. He's a controversial figure in the black community, often bashing Obama, LeBron, and even Oprah.
Barack Obama was a flunky, he was a functionary, he was a stool pigeon, and he was a puppet, and yes, he was a coon. Barack Obama did absolutely nothing to benefit Africa. He did absolutely nothing to benefit African people. So Oprah and LeBron, don't give them $250 for the white school. Put it in their hand.
And he defends Bill Cosby.
I actually agree with Dr. Umar on those points. I think not Dr. Umar, I think I think I guess you could say Dr. Umar might be a little bit of a criminologist in his own kind of way. There's a thin line between the pro-black to criminologist sector, if you ask me. We've been talking about it a lot behind the scenes, me, Black Light, and a few others, and I just think it's true. But I do agree that Barack Obama is definitely he's a planetary level criminologist, planetary level. Like this dude got into office, he was basically on that "I'm not black, I'm Barack" kind of stuff. He didn't do anything for black people at all, even though that's the main voter base who got him in and got him in a second time. And he still didn't do anything. There were a lot of different deaths by the hands of police during his time, and he didn't do anything about it. He just came up and was talking about yeah, if I would have had something. I think it was like late towards the end of his presidency when he was about to get up out of there. He was like, yeah, if I would have had a son, he looked like Trayvon. He looked like Trayvon. So yeah, it's like, bro, you didn't do nothing, bro. Get out of here. And even when he said the thing about Africa, didn't he take down Gaddafi or something like that? I don't know if that was him or Hillary or somebody. But all them folks be kind of working together. Also, I think Oprah and LeBron are Oprah's definitely a criminologist. Oprah is absolutely planetary level criminologist. LeBron, I think he just has a surface level thought of what what being awoken as a black person is. Like he I think he means well. I just think he doesn't really know it. I think at the same time he has to kowtow towards his handlers, his handlers who own the league, who own the team. Even though he's LeBron and they can't win a game without him, the NBA wouldn't be as popular without him. He still has to bow down to these people. But I agree with that. Let's get it.
Bill Cosby, the most significant black male actor and comedian of all time. When all the crusty snow bunnies came out against him a couple years ago, you said nothing.
He's got 1 million followers on Instagram and over 200,000 on Twitter. His beliefs are outlandish and many would say outdated. He's against interracial marriage and still believes he can cure a certain type of people, but he's not short on conviction. He stated his grand vision to build a...
Hey, man. Hey, man, I hate to be on a tangent right now, but your boy Spencer done got a little small, man. Look at the bisexuals. That boy got them bisexuals going, man. He got a little check game going. He still got the skinny neck though, man. Shout out to Spencer, man. I love to see it, man. When people, people get to their goals. I believe he was definitely trying to get himself right. I know he was a little smaller before. I think he talked about working out, but he looked like he done got himself together, man. You got to work on that neck, man. You look like Christian Bale as Batman right now. You super swole everywhere else, and then you look at your neck. It's like, man, I can punch your head off with one punch. You get knocked out. but I like Spencer, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I like Spencer. I like his content. And he just seemed like a cool guy overall, man. I'm glad that he's gotten to he's gotten into kind of shape that he wants to get into, man. I love saying that. Let's get it.
A school for black children over a decade ago and still hasn't opened it. Many people are calling him a scammer, but others keep donating to him. I dug deep to get the full story. Let's dive in.
Brothers and sisters, I am happy and elated to report to you today that we have found the location for the...
All right, on another, I guess on the inverse, on the reverse, on the opposite spectrum, Dr. Umar. Let's look at Dr. Umar real quick. Dr. Umar, I would say he's not in shape at all, and I think that shows that to me. Like, I'm not trying to say like all fat people are scammers or all big out of shape people are scammers, but Dr. Umar always preaches this being disciplined, politics over Punani, no snow bunnies, no Asian women, no none of that. Y'all know I ain't going for that, man. Dr. Umar would not be proud of me. but yeah, man, I don't like depolicing, and at the same time, I don't like that Dr. Umar is running around here talking about preaching discipline and all this kind of stuff. Bro, you're fat. Like, I think like that's one of the first things that you should be having together, and the easiest thing to control when you decide you want to go out here and preach holier than thou stuff to other people. Get in shape, dog. Be a real role model to the black community. You run around here with bad health. Dr. Umar be eating on wings and fried foods and all kind of crazy stuff. Dr. Umar talking about yeah, we need to get these kids out of ADHD and they need to be doing better classes. They in all the special classes. But it's like, Dr. Umar, you're not really showing a good example by eating the stuff that probably messes with their brains. A lot of this stuff, I think, messes with our brain. Like, think of all these little snacks that they got in our neighborhoods. Like, you think about your neighborhood, there's no grocery stores around there, strictly Dollar Trees or whatever the hell, Family Dollars and gas stations. All you can do is get snacks up out of them, and all them things do is mess with your brain, mess with your chemistry, all that kind of stuff. Man, ain't doing nothing but mess you up. Dr. Umar he ain't a good example. Man, Dr. Umar, get in shape. You one of them folks that get fat. Then probably you probably ain't never lost a little weight, but you got to stay fat. But one of them folks that get fat, lose a little weight, get back fat again. Jokers that be getting back fat, man, that shit is crazy. But I know I went off on a long tangent there. Let's keep going.
To report to you today that we have found the location for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Pan-African Excellence.
Dr. Umar Johnson, whose birth name is Jermaine Shoemake, legally changed his name to Umar Rashad Ibn Abdullah Johnson, presumably to sound more African. As he calls himself the Prince of Pan-Africanism, the worldwide movement to unite all ancestral Africans and eliminate colonization.
Special, I don't think that was meant to sound more African. I think it's just something that a lot of people do when they take up Islam. I think he might have been. I think Dr. Umar might have started off Christian, and he's one of those dudes that took up Islam later. I don't know if he was raised Islamic or what. If he was raised Islamic, then you could still really technically say the same thing. He more so changed his name to get more in tune with Islam. I know a lot of dudes that do that. I know a lot of people that have grown up and they've grown up in Islam. And they've already got, close to an Islamic name. So I wouldn't say that that's him trying to be African. I would just say that him more so getting into the religion of Islam. That's all. What do y'all think? Or y'all think he's trying to be African, or y'all think he's just changing name for Islam? Let's get it.
And white supremacy. He claims to be a direct descendant of Frederick Douglass, to which the Douglass family responded, "That is cap."
Whoa.
He travels across the country giving speeches.
Oh, that's ugly, man. That's one of his main talking points too, man. Yeah, one of my ancestors, Frederick Douglass, he would roll over in his grave right now, and all that. Like, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But I guess at the same time, do we really know that his family is an actual good resource of information? Are they his actually family either? I mean, I guess they could. You should be able to trace back your lineage to a degree. And if somebody as famous as Frederick Douglass would be a part of your lineage, you definitely know. So I don't know if Dr. Umar is trying to latch onto that and tether onto that, like Tariq Nasheed would say, that's crazy work. Hey man, Spencer, you might need to go and do a video on Tariq, man. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a cool knowledge, but since we, I don't know. I guess that was kind of, I don't know, man. Tariq been kind of funny. He been funny acting to me a little bit, man. The Vlad thing killed me. But let's get it.
Speeches in support of this message, and he's quite the captivating speaker.
Frederick Douglass said, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom but deprecate agitation are like men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want the rain but can't stand the thunder or the lightning. They want the ocean but they're scared of the awful roar of the waves."
He is a doctor of psychology, or is he? He claims to have graduated from the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, but an investigation from the root turned up some fishy things. We could not find any evidence that Johnson graduated from PCOM. 99% of students who received a doctorate from PCOM have their dissertation available online, but Johnson's is not. PCOM also posts videos of its graduation ceremonies online, except someone has submitted a copyright infringement claim only for the graduation ceremony that took place in the year Umar Johnson supposedly graduated.
So that right there says a lot to me, man. That the root, I know the root is somebody that some people would say is like an alternative situation because they are more so, I guess, immigrant based, like black immigrant based. They're not the same as like us here in the Black America. So they might have like a different ulterior motive or whatever. But that to me says a lot. Like you went searching the records for Dr. Umar's doctorate or whatever, and he didn't have that. And then at the same time, Dr. Umar's running around here on this goddamn this Diddy type of time, man. Yeah, pay off the people to get a copyright infringement on that year's graduation. Yeah, so don't nobody even know. That's crazy. That's crazy. That says a lot to me right there, man. So maybe Charleston White did have a point about Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar is not really a doctor. He doesn't really, and then you think about it, he doesn't really carry himself like a doctor. He just run around here busting and blah. Oh, I guess you can't really say. A lot of doctors don't carry themselves the way you would think. Like, I guess we've all kind of grown up with this Disney World fantasy of doctors being these honorable, noble people that no matter what, they're going to do the right thing and they're always going to strive for the greatest. But I've met some people that actually went to school, went to medical school, and they were like trash people. And then I'm wondering, like, okay, how are you holding up in the medical field right now? Because you were just such a trash person. You were even kind of racist a little bit. Like this one little W girl, man, she was kind of racist. I'm wondering, like, how she holding up if there's a black patient that happens to come to the hospital. I don't know, man. So yeah, I guess we can't really say that. But at the same time, Dr. Umar, he doesn't move remotely like the type of guy that's educated and has something decent about himself. He talks well. And there's a lot of guys that are charlatans that talk well, snake oil salesmen that talk well. I mean, look at Fresh and Fit now. They talk with confidence and all that. And it seems like, oh yeah, that shit real. But then you see Fresh run around here paying girls. You see Myron, he was paying girls. It was on the sugar sites for a little bit. And I guess Myron just got himself together now with his girlfriend. But I mean, these guys don't really practice what they preach either. They just sound good when they talk. They sound confident when they talk, and it makes you seem like, oh, yeah, it's okay. And I think that matters a lot, man. The way you say things can really get a lot of people to be following you. So we got to think about that. Let's get it.
Catch me if you can vibes here, but I haven't seen definitive proof either way. And if his degree isn't fake, then his school certainly is. Or is it? In 2014, he announced his mission to build a school for black children.
I hope to make the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for African Children. I implore you, I beg you, I summon you, and I petition you to donate to this cause.
Let's see what has happened since.
So far, we raised $250,000, and Dr. Umar Johnson is trying to build a state-of-the-art school for black boys that y'all all know I need.
In 2015, he actually raised over $400,000 on GoFundMe for the academy, and then he claimed that PayPal sabotaged him.
PayPal sabotaged us, y'all. The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy is a school that I conceived of a very long time ago, but began to actually put teeth into the creation of that school a couple of years ago.
How will my academy be able to sustain itself the same way private schools all across America sustain themselves? I mean, there's no secret to how you do that. You fundraise, you have tuition, you also float endowment.
I'm skeptical his school is being built, let alone has the funding to actually sustain itself. Much like in business, you need sales and revenue to sustain yourself. To do that, you need to be in direct communication with your customers.
Atlanta was a finalist city for the first Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
So in 2018, 4 years after he promised he would build a school, he's still scouting locations. This one is in Atlanta. More on that in a minute.
I'm live at the Fred Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, your academy, our academy. Get the donations in. It's not a game.
In 2019, he promised heaven on earth, whatever that means. I think education is a great thing, but I doubt any middle schooler has ever called math class heaven on earth.
Because this is the month that renovations will commence.
All is well with the HVAC. The HVAC is in Delaware, but it cannot be installed unless the Prince of Pan-Africanism, CEO of FDMG. I need to be present.
Yeah, I'm sure he can't possibly.
Why would you need to be present? But what does Dr. Umar know about HVAC? Why would Dr. Umar have to be present for that? Does anybody have any idea why? I mean, I'm just wondering because like if you're not an expert on HVAC or if you have no little to no knowledge on HVAC, then what's the point of you being there? I mean, I guess you could be there as far as like making sure they're not damaging anything. But I guess if you're watching with a close eye, how would you know if they turn this dial a little too much to the right, or if they turn this particular dial too much to the left, whatever? I don't know. Other than you're just making sure they're not damaging anything. I don't really understand why you have to be there. Do you have to sit there and watch over them? Let's go.
Get anyone else to be present for the HVAC guy.
Stop confusing home schools with regular schools. Stop comparing home schools to real schools. This is a real school.
Would anyone building an actual school need to tell people it's a real school? Sounds like he's trying a little too hard to convince people his school is actually being built.
Look at them big, beautiful windows, brothers and sisters. Look at the big, beautiful windows on the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
Oh, great. 9 years later, he finally has windows. Well, at least in 2024, he actually started painting the building.
I want to thank the brothers and sisters who came out this past weekend to Wilmington, Delaware to help us paint the inside of the Marcus Garvey Re-Africanization Academy.
And on March 1st,
so that's a good idea, to get the community to help you do things. But if you're if this is really a passion of yours to help Black kids be educated in what you would say is the right way with the right information that they tend to leave out in the typical American classroom, then you would be in there doing the most for your own school. Like you could at least sit there and paint. You could have taped in walls with the blue tape and paint within the lines, can't you? Unless you're that lazy. I mean, well, we see that Dr. Umar is fat as hell. So I mean, how can we really say, oh yeah, Dr. Umar rolled his sleeves up, goddamn? Dr. Umar is always running around here blowing hot air, going to different speaking engagements and whatnot, saying the same exact 2-3 things and getting paid a whole lot for it. Dr. Umar getting paid like $10K or more to show up at some place and just talk jargon and get nothing done. There's no type of solutions to any, like he says a lot of stuff that's like, oh yeah, I agree with that. But it's like there's no solution to it. And then you see Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar's not doing anything. Dr. Umar talks about, he says asinine stuff like, man, Black men needs to be out here in the neighborhoods taking care of these kids. Black men that like they not your kids, but you need to come home from your technologist jobs, and you need to come here and take care of these kids from these other single mamas. Even though they daddies out there running them up and they could take care of the kids, you need to take care of the kids. That's stupid, right? Dr. Umar says a bunch of jargon. And Dr. Umar really like when you want something done, you really have to sit there and roll your sleeves up, put your head down until it gets done, or do the most that you can, and then maybe ask somebody else to help you until it gets done. You want to get in shape, you got to go ahead and do the work. You want to get a certification in a certain language in tech or something like that. You got to do the work. You don't have no choice but to do the work by yourself. And the only way that you're going to get there in a timely manner is if you go ahead and put your head down and keep doing it. You're doing an hour a day. Dr. Umar's running around. Dr. Umar's going to Columbia. What was he going? Yeah, Dr. Umar was in Columbia justifying his reasoning for messing with the Colombian girls. He was like, yeah, she light-skinned, but she African. Even though he's telling us, don't you be snow bunny, don't you be adobo bunnying, don't you be chow mein bunnying, don't you be snow bunny. Like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? But you down there busting on Dominican girls just because they got a big booty and all that. And it's like you trying to tell her, oh yeah, she African. Man, just say you want to bust on something, man. We all like busting on different flavors. And speaking of different flavors, man, as far as the whole Venezuelan migrant crisis go, man, if your girl Virginia Sandhouse come up here and she do something for me, then she can stay. She can stay. I'm gonna start liking migrants. I'm gonna be like, everybody needs a chance now. But let's go.
2024, Umar did what everyone has waited a decade for. He set an opening date, September 3rd, 2024. Narrator, the school did not open.
Well, the time has come. I have kept my promise, and I will deliver to our young men and their parents, especially our single mother, a school that will be a heaven on earth.
Well, no, Umar, you didn't keep your promise. I gotta hand it to Umar, though. This long con is genius. He'll be leaving breadcrumbs every year for the next 50 years. Anytime someone asks when will the school actually open, he'll continue to reply, soon. Just look at the progress we're making. This week we built the basketball court. Here's how he responds to the haters. Good Garvey Day, Empress. I'm not doing anything about the hate. My work speaks for itself. I've done more to assist and transform the way Black parents and children do business with and resist exploitation from the Eurocentric psychological, academic, pharmaceutical, industrial complex on the grassroots level than any Black psychologist in history. Let the hate continue. I'm too focused on my divine mission to give it any of my precious energy. Umar is full of excuses too. He blames GoFundMe for removing his account, but it appears this may have been due to his lack of non-profit status that he says he was in the process of applying for. The exact amount of donations he's received is tough to gauge. It's not hard to believe that he's raised several $1 million in the past decade. And much like that friend who never pays you back, for every—
Well, Dr. Umar is like a pro-Black passport bro. Y'all think about it, man. All these little passport bros, you know, like Austin Holloman and all them other dudes, they strictly were allowed to travel off your dime. You know, they talk about, you know, you broke and you can't do nothing, and that's why you ain't left your room yet. But you're the one who gave them the money to even be out there. These jokers were broke. These jokers don't have no type of skills. They don't have any type of education. They don't have anything, but they're traveling off your dime. They in Brazil with big booty women that they can't even get. They ain't even taking advantage of it because they're lame, or they're in Asia and they're not getting any girls because they're weird. They're weird, they're not the kind of guy that would transcend race. They're weird, dusty little dudes. Well, Austin not so much, but Floyd look like he stinks, like he smells like homeless doo-doo, and he's also weird, and his social skills are horrible. And Dr. Umar he's just the pro-Black version of that. He's a pro-Black passport bro. He talk about you ain't helping this, all that, but Dr. Umar's school is not up to code. And I remember Dr. Umar talking about the HVAC and all that, but he tried to, he was kind of like being a chronologist about it. He was saying, yeah, I tried to get some Black people to do it, because but you know how we do. We don't be doing the work. We don't be doing the works. And he was like, so I has to get some white folks. I'm gonna have to get some white folks to go and settle down and do it. Like, bro, he was really chronologist in it right there. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video because it's going on a little bit too long. With the little ad in there, man, I'm gonna have to edit that guy out. But anyway, what do you guys think, man? Do you guys think that Spencer Cornelia is putting his beak into the area it doesn't belong? Does he need to stay out of Black business? Or do you think that, oh yeah, man, regardless of Spencer Cornelia being white or whatever, this needs to be put on Front Street? Or what do you guys think about it? Or do you feel like, man, Dr. Umar the greatest? Are you going to keep on donating to him if you are a donator? Or do you need to see some progress first? I personally need to see some progress first. If I saw some legit progress, I would throw me a little bit of money at the Dr. Umar school. I'm for real. Because I definitely want to see our people do good. But if you run around here playing us and scamming us, bro, that's not going to work, man. I don't know, man. I guess you could kind of say it's on the same level as Tariq with the museum. But it's not exactly like while Tariq didn't get the museum that everybody wanted, he got an actual museum, and he's putting stuff in there, but you could say it's questionable as to what he's doing with it, like having comedy shows and having this little meetup and this little club social and that little club social, and then it's a way small building than what he initially promised. And we know he raised a lot of money. He should be able to get something bigger. So we feel like that, but I don't know. But at the same time, Dr. Umar, he really hasn't gotten anything off the ground, and it's been what, a decade? What are we saying, Dr. Umar? Dr. Umar ain't got himself in shape. Dr. Umar doesn't even care about himself. I guess that's what I'm saying. If you don't even care about yourself enough about yourself to look good and be healthy, then how can we trust you to do anything righteous for other people and honorable for other people? That's my thoughts on it, man. But yeah. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Was I being a chronologist, or was I just just having valid questions? And is Spencer Cornelius out of his business? I mean, is he in the wrong business, or no, is he just right? Dr. Umar scam, or you think Dr. Umar is the greatest? If you watched up to this point, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all next time.